Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I am back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder. As always, if you enjoy the series and want to see another episode tomorrow, please leave a like on this video to show your support, and let's aim for 500 likes on this video. Now before I get started with today's episode, a bunch of people have recommended that I actually basically do two online series, one for me trying out different Mega Evolutions and cool Pokemon, and another for me basically trying as hard as I can for the online ladder. Of course, the idea of this series is to try to get as high as a ranking as possible, but as a result, sometimes I don't get to feature some of the more unique and interesting Mega Evolutions. You know, obviously I tried out with Audino earlier, but the reality is that it is more difficult to win with some of the less common Megas. So I'm thinking of actually just getting another game to have two series at the same time. One for me basically trying hard to get as high as the ladder as possible, and the other for me to basically have fun and try out all kinds of wacky things. So if you think you'd enjoy seeing two different episodes, or really two different series with different intentions behind them, let me know in the comments below. I'd appreciate and really just want to hear your feedback. So yeah. Today we'll be trying out Mega Metagross. It's obviously one of the newer megas in ORAS, and definitely one that has the potential to be one of the best ones in VGC. First opponent of the day is going to be a 1731 rated player from Japan. Supporting my Metagross, I've got Hydreigon, Landorus, Bisharp, Sylveon, and Thundurus. And I'm actually running 3 choice users in Hydreigon, Landorus, and Sylveon, so that should be interesting. So my opponent's got a team of Sylveon, Talonflame, Greninja, Bisharp, Salamence, and Meowstic. Definitely an interesting team. It seems like he's pretty weak to Bisharp, my own Bisharp actually. I think I'm going to lead with Thundurus and Bisharp. In the back, I like Metagross for sure, and I'm thinking Sylveon as my last one because it is Scarf, so it can outspeed the Bisharp and Salamence, though I assume that's Mega Salamence, so that's going to be a slight threat. I don't think Landorus is really the best one to bring into this match because most of his Pokemon are special, and the Bisharp can get the Divine Boost. Hydreigon here is not bad, but the issue is that he's got Sylveon. It's just definitely one of the more concerning things, and his entire team basically can outspeed Hydreigon. So I think I'm going to go with Sylveon. Oops. Going to the summary screen there. Yep, I'm going to go Thundurus, Bisharp, Metagross, and Sylveon for this match. The idea is to try to spread some paralysis with Thundurus, and if he chooses to lead with Meowstic, which I might expect, I can just knock it off for a one-hit KO. He doesn't have many good ways to really deal with that. He's probably not going to want to lead with Salamence because, of course, I've got Defiant, and I'm hoping that Mega Metagross can kind of close things up. I'm going to want to knock out his Bisharp because it's going to give my Metagross some issues. I actually am not carrying Bullet Punch on this Metagross, but I'm thinking maybe in the future I might want to put it on just so I can avoid Sucker Punches, because if Bullet Punch goes off before Sucker Punch, then Sucker Punch isn't going to actually work. So might be considering that in the future. Right now I'm just running a moveset of Meteor Mashes and Headbutt, Iron Head, and Protect. But the Greninja there is kind of scary as well because, of course, it's got access to most likely a Stab Dark Pulse, which is what Greninjas like to run. Though Physical Greninja is actually getting more and more common because of access to moves like Gunk Shot. Opponent almost runs out of time there, but locks in just before the timer runs out. So, first game of Mega Metagross in Road to Rank, and this should be interesting. And I definitely am excited to test its potential. So I'm going to lead with that Thundurus Bisharp as he goes with, I think that's Sylveon and Meowstic. Okay. That's a fair lead here. Presumably we're going to see Fake Out onto Bisharp and Hyper Voice. That would be my guess, if anything. So I'm thinking of switching to Metagross and Protecting on the first turn. Alternatively, I could just taunt the Meowstic or Thunder Wave the Sylveon. I think I'm definitely going to protect Bisharp here. Switching to Metagross is very, very tempting right now. You know what? I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to switch to Metagross, which can take a Hyper Voice decently and protect here with Bisharp. That way I can get the free Mega Evolution and then threaten both of his Pokemon immediately the next turn. And I don't want my Thundurus taking too much damage right now. He is going to stay in with both of his Pokemon, so that's good. Let's see what Meowstic decided to go for. He did go for the Fake Out onto the Bisharp, so glad I did predict that. So I do call my opponent's moves correctly the first turn. Let's see how much Hyper Voice does to Metagross here. Wow, that's a crazy amount of damage. Brings me down to 92. I'm guessing that's going to be a Choice Spec Sylveon. So now I can Mega Evolve and and just go for a knockoff onto the Meowstic and Meteor Mash the Sylveon, to be quite honest with you. Alternatively, though, I can Iron Head the Sylveon, knowing that I probably outspeed it. The question is what he's got in the back. I know Salamence is a potential. Salamence, Talonflame, Greninja, Rotom Wash. So obviously he's got a couple of good switch-ins. So I'm thinking of actually using Zen Headbutt here onto the Sylveon. Yeah, there's no way that Sylveon can stay in here. I'm going to go for the knockoff onto the Meowstic. Oh, he does stay in, though. This might spell trouble for me. I guess we're going to find out what he does. As we see a Safeguard come out of the Meowstic. Okay. Metagross does get Zen Headbutt off. Does a very good amount there, but... Oh, Colbur Berry coming out of the Meowstic. It's going to hang on there. Did not expect that. He's probably going to knock out my Bisharp here with a Hyper Voice, unfortunately. Metagross should be able to take that a bit better, but still doing a lot of damage there. So I definitely overpredicted there. I could have just gone for the safe play, but now I can just bring in Sylveon on Hyper Voice. So that's still not too bad for me. I think I'm going to switch out back into Thundurus in case he tries to Thunder Wave that spot, and Sylveon is faster than both of his Pokemon since I'm Scarfed. So I can, yep, he's going to stay in with both, so I can pick up 2 knockouts here, which is of course really good. So going to bring in that Thundurus. He goes for the Swagger, oh, onto my Sylveon, but I'm going to avoid and get a Hyper Voice, picking up 2 KOs here. So had I just like Meteor Mashed the Meowstic and Iron Headed the Sylveon, that would have put me up in a fantastic position, but I'm still fine off right now, despite misplaying a bit. I was just really afraid of Rotom Wash coming in, but I think I should have just Meteor Mashed that slot regardless, knowing what I had in the back. Looks like he's got Talonflame and Bisharp as his last 2, so those are definitely not 2 Pokemon I want to see, obviously. But I am Scarf with the Sylveon, so I can actually just T-Bolt the Bisharp and Hyper Voice, to be quite honest with you. I can just bait out the Iron Head right away out from that Bisharp. Or I could T-Bolt the Talonflame. But you know what? I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt onto the Bisharp and the Hyper Voice. And I really want to knock this out. The more obvious play is to just Thunderbolt the Talonflame here. But obviously I'm fearing the Protect coming out of that Bisharp. Even if he Protects, though, I don't know. I think for him, he's probably going to want to protect the Talonflame. Though I guess we might see a Tailwind Protect from him too. But Sylveon being Scarfed here actually really helps out because I do outspeed the Bisharp, and it's one of the reasons why I do run Scarf Sylveon, just to get that, because Bisharp is often used as a counter to... Oh, he goes for the Tailwind, but he doesn't protect here with Bisharp, so this might be really good. Let's see. And Thundurus does get the Thunderbolt off here, so as long as I outspeed... Yes, perfect. So that played out exactly how I wanted to. Obviously, had he protected there with Bisharp, I would have been in a lot of trouble, but I don't think he could have afforded to protect there. And Scarf Sylveon really pulling through this time around. So now I can just Thunderbolt. And I'm just going to Hyper Voice here as well. There's really not much my opponent can do, and he's just going to forfeit. So managed to win the first game of the day, despite having a pretty scary situation when I just heavily mispredicted. I don't think it was the worst prediction, but I think I should have just gone for the Iron Head onto the Sylveon and the Meteor Mash onto the Meowstic. There wasn't really much my opponent could have done to prevent the damage coming there. Even had he switched into, say, the Rotom Wash, then my Metagross would have been faster than it the following turn, as would be my Bisharp. So I went a bit aggressive there, and it almost cost me, but ended up working out. So decent first game of the day for sure. Definitely one that was pretty weak to my team, and I thought Thundurus Bisharp covered my bases pretty well, and it worked out, though his Spec Sylveon was definitely really scary. But if anything, I think these games, a lot of these Road to Rank games are showing how strong Sylveon is in general, how good it is in VGC, but my Scarf Sylveon was really able to pull through by outspeeding both of his Pokemon and then outspeeding the Bisharp too, to pick up, it actually ended up picking up 3 KOs, so Scarf Sylveon actually the MVP of that. But Metagross coming in definitely put some more pressure on, and that's why I like having 2 Steel types. Sylveon is really, really common, though I guess Bisharp actually doesn't really take Sylveon's attacks well at all, but at least it can outspeed it and a KO with the Iron Head. And of course, a lot of people wonder what good ways to beat Sylveon are, and steel types are, I tend to recommend. So second opponent of the day is going to be a 1701 rated player from Japan, so another Japanese opponent with a team of Kangaskhan, Azumarill, Talonflame, Clefairy, Greninja, and Smeargle. So, that's definitely a scary team. I mean, the Kangaskhan Smeargle thing is definitely the first thing that sticks out because of obviously of its ability to just put everything to sleep. And without a Fake Outer on this team, you don't normally have something like Hariyama, and that's gonna give me a lot of issues because I can't just lead with Thundurus and taunt the Smeargle, which is normally what I would do, obviously. But well, for the first question is whether Smeargle is scarfed or sashed. The Clefairy there is also very scary. There are a lot of gimmick things that my opponent can do here, and if I had something like a Fake Outer, I'd feel 10 times better about this game because I could just fake out the first turn and then Thundurus could taunt the second turn. But right now I'm just staring at that Smeargle and it's really, really scaring me. But I think he's got to lead with Kangaskhan Smeargle, and if he leads with anything else, I'm going to be in a pretty decent position. So I'm thinking of leading with Metagross. And the unfortunate thing is I don't really have many ways to protect. So maybe Metagross and Landorus, or Metagross and Sylveon. I can Mega Evolve and then try to get a Hyper Voice off. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Metagross and Sylveon, I think. With Thundurus is definitely really needed in this matchup because of how it can beat 3 of his Pokemon, Greninja, Talonflame, and Azumarill. Don't think Hydreigon's gonna be good in this one. He's got the fairies, of course. So it's between Landorus and Bisharp. Bisharp definitely could help with Sucker Punches. Landorus helps with Intimidate, though. But I think Sucker Punch might be more important in this match because I need to be able to outspeed and KO that Kangaskhan. So I'm gonna go with Bisharp. Now, if I could get a Dark Void miss here and there, that would be great. Smeargle's the biggest fear in this battle. If my opponent didn't have Smeargle, I'd feel really good, but definitely one of the weaknesses in my team building here. And once again, a lot of these teams I just throw together with Pokemon I figure would be good, but I am scared of it. Oh, he leads with Smeargle and Clefairy actually against my Metagross and Sylveon. So I guess we're gonna find out exactly what kind of Smeargle this is. I'm gonna hedge my bets and say it's Scarfed. So you know what, I'm going to Mega Evolve and just try to KO it right away with the Zen Headbutt and Hyper Voice. Yeah, even if he hits his Dark Void here, Clefairy doesn't have much offensive pressure, and I really fear we're going to see a really annoying Clefairy. Actually, on second thought, I think I should have Meteor Mashed the Clefairy instead, but yep, he is going to be Scarf. Let's see if it misses either of my Pokemon. Sylveon does avoid it, nice. So, fortunate avoid there, obviously. Metagross is going to take a turn of sleep here, but that's actually fine. I don't mind the position I've been put in. Of course, Dark Void hitting both is relatively rare. Hyper Voice doesn't knock out here, and we see the Minimize come out right away from the Clefairy. That's not going to be fun to deal with, as it has leftovers. So, I really need to try to KO this Clefairy right away. And now that Metagross is asleep, I mean, it's taken a turn of sleep, so it can actually just wake up right away. I'm going to go for the Meteor Mash and just go for another Hyper Voice. He's probably going to Dark Void here with Smeargle, but that's fine. Smeargle is not the issue right now. I need to KO Clefairy. Unfortunately, I take another turn of sleep there with Metagross, which is actually faster than... Oh, Sylveon avoids it once again. Hyper Voice is going to miss the Clefairy, though, which obviously stinks, as I do KO the Smeargle, so... Dark Void misses here as it goes for another Minimize, which of course is very annoying, but all I need to do is land one attack on that with my Metagross and I'm good. But of course, evasion at +4 already is pretty terrible. So my opponent hasn't gotten any offensive pressure up whatsoever, but he's got a +4 Clefairy, which is very, very annoying to deal with. Looks like Kangaskhan's coming in? Yeah. So you know what, I'm gonna just target this Kangaskhan down with a Meteor Mash and a Hyper Voice. I know I should be focusing on Clefairy, but the goal of this game right now, given my situation, is I want to KO everything except for the Clefairy, then just try to launch all my attacks onto it. We might be in store for a long game though, but we'll see. Oh, he goes for Follow Me. Okay. But Sylveon here, of course, is going to be able to at least get... Oh, Metagross wakes up, Meteor Mash! Oh, and it connects! Woohoo! And it KOs. Okay. So crisis averted, guys. All is well. And that's huge. As he goes straight for the return onto Sylveon. Will I be able to take that? 73. Ooh, 10 HP. Sylveon's bulk really coming through there, as I am going to get a full-powered Scarf Hyper Voice off here. You see how much it does to Metagross, Kangaskhan. Unboosted, still does that much damage. And looks like we're going to see Greninja as my opponent's last one. Yep. So obviously that went a lot better than, honestly, I could have even expected it to. I think I'm just going to protect Metagross right now and sack the Sylveon so I can bring in Thundurus. And even Bisharp here can close things up, actually. But I've definitely gotten really fortunate the first couple of turns. He actually goes for the Grass Knot here with the Greninja. So that's going to target Sylveon. I don't know if he has Dark Pulse or not, but presumably he does. As Kang goes for the Earthquake. Didn't see that one coming, but nice combination there. So obviously not going to do too much to the Greninja there. But now I can just bring in Bisharp and Sucker Punch the Kang. Yeah. I can Sucker Punch Kang, and I'm thinking of switching Metagross out. I'm not sure if I can actually take a Dark Pulse. I don't think I can. So I'm going to switch out to Thundurus and go for the... Actually, he can't really KO Thundurus either. Okay, I'm just going to go straight for the Zen Headbutt onto the Greninja and the Sucker Punch onto Kangaskhan. He doesn't have Protect, so Sucker Punch goes off here. Life Orb should KO Kang. Yep, picks up the KO. Though it was scary there. Looks like the HP bar was falling slowly there. But Bisharp, Life Orb Bisharp picking up the knockout there. He does go for the Scald. That's going to be game as long as I hit the Zen Headbutt. But going on to Bisharp, actually, not even targeting Metagross. Gets the burn, but Zen Headbutt does connect here. That should pick up the knockout here. Onto Greninja, as it does. So my opponent's gimmicks really falling through. Of course, I got very lucky. He missed Dark Void twice on Sylveon. I wasn't really worried about that. I knew Sylveon could take a turn of sleep. The main concern was... So basically, when you use Scarf Smeargle, you can get a bunch of Dark Voids off, but the thing is, you're outspeeding your opponent's Pokemon, so they're not going to be able to do... they're basically going to take their first turn of sleep right away. And when that happens... Basically, they can wake up immediately the turn after, and Smeargle doesn't want to stay in forever. You need to get more offensive pressure out, so by leading with Smeargle and his Clefairy, he put himself in a position where he couldn't do anything other than rely on some lucky rolls and try to get his attacks off. But that's why I was more scared of Kangaskhan and Smeargle, because Kangaskhan, of course, can just Power Up Punch immediately, though I'm not sure if he even carried that. Regardless, that's kind of the reason why those teams don't work out too well in VGC. You know, they're fun to use, especially on Battle Spot, but you almost never see this kind of strategies working at real events because, you know, the consistency you need to do well round after round is really important, and you can't rely on attacks like Minimize and Dark Void to work in, say, a 9-round tournament. So that's why you at least shouldn't rely on them. It's a fun strategy to play with, definitely one really annoying to play against, but in this case you saw I got fortunate enough to hit my Meteor Mash, avoid a Dark Void here and there, and then he just couldn't actually beat my team. You know, he definitely relied on Minimize and Follow Me, but of course having spread attacks like the Hyper Voice from Sylveon helped out a lot as well. But in the end, I able to take 2 pretty good wins in today's episode. Once again, Metagross and Sylveon. Sylveon definitely one of the MVPs, but Metagross really coming through there as well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know if you would enjoy seeing 2 separate series where I, you know, obviously feature cool Pokemon and another one where I try to climb as high as the ladder as possible. I think my rating after this is around 1780, which is pretty awesome. So, as always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and I'll see you next time. Peace.